Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Master Nung's Watch Review. Today we have another addition to my collection, which is Tudor Tiger on the left. On the right, it's Tiger's predecessor, which is the Big Block, reference number 79180, and this one is 79280. See the connections, right? However, they are quite different in collectible value, I'll say. Well, I shouldn't say that because that's kind of too conclusive. Both are nice watches. They are actually almost identical watches, just some minor but important differences. For example, the Rolex Dna. This Big Block, by the way, it is called Big Block because it's very thick. So that's why it has a nickname Big Block. But guess what? Its successor is pretty much the same thing, right? But it's just not called Big Block because it has another or a better nickname for it that can describe its characteristics, that is Tiger. So the Big Block has a lot of Rolex Dna. For example, the crown has a Rolex crown on it. And the case back says Rolex. Did I show it? Yeah, you see right here. Yeah, see, you see Rolex. That's the case back. Actually, the whole case is made by Rolex, but it doesn't matter. So the print shows the Rolex Dna on this watch, and this is probably the last generation of Tudor that has the Rolex Dna. It used to be more Rolex Dna on it. For example, some vintage Tudor will have a Rolex bracelet with the clasp, but this one is the one with shield. So I believe this one is from the late 80s or early 90s, and this one is actually from the late 90s or early 2000s. So I need to check with the reference number thing. As far as I remember, they're about 10 years apart. And the other difference is that this one, the newer one, Tiger, has a sapphire, and this is a Plex. Does that really matter? Well, actually, for a vintage watch, it doesn't matter as long as you preserve it well. If you scratch it a lot, that might be a problem. But this one's pretty nice. When I use magnifying glasses to see it, then I can see some very fine scratches or lines. Most of the time, you couldn't see anything. It's a silver pendant, not a real pendant. While this one is a real pendant. Consists of black and white. What can I say? They have the same caliber, almost same everything. The difference is very minor. All the dimensions are pretty much identical. Functionality wise, are exactly the same. This one will give you a more modern look. The Pinda dial is the trend. So this vintage watch is actually pretty attractive at this moment. Who knows, right? As for collective value, now the market has already made a decision. They were having very identical MSRP when they first released, or at the time they were overlapping. They're both discontinued years ago. So they were meant to be priced at the same value. However, nowadays on the market, the older one worth more. Why? Most importantly, maybe it is because of the Rolex Dna. This one will give you a much more vintage feel because you see the Rolex Dna, the Plex glass, if you have to call it glass. But on the other hand, this one will give you a more clean look, a more clean or more authentic Pinda look, which is pretty popular today. By the way, as long as you have a Pinda dial nowadays, your watch will sell pretty good. Even, when it comes to a micro brand, for example, Laurier. I think Laurier, they have a Pinda manual wind watch I had featured in my previous videos. It's okay quality, it's nicely built, but with a very cheap caliber, and it's it's selling very, very well. So, you know, Pinda is the way to go. Can I afford a Pinda Daytona right now? No, I just don't have that almost $40,000 cash to buy a watch, which was priced at $11,000. But this one, you can probably have one, you know, at a reasonable price. For example, like $3,600. That's what I paid. Well, plus shipping. This one, however, will be worth a little bit more. The big blocks usually are priced at 7,000 or above. But I got this one for 6,500 plus shipping from Japan. Okay, I guess I pretty much cover all. They feel exactly the same on wrist. You know, same depth, same dimension, same material. However, I have to say, this one, because its style is pure white, it feels much lighter. Maybe it's just psychological effect, but it's pretty good. So I'll probably wear this in the summer, and I'll wear this in the autumn and winter. You never know, right? Anyway, I guess that's it for today. Another boring review from Master None. See you.